So this is a project, originally I thought of it before I even knew what New Bedford Research and Robotics was, and the way I was going to do it was I was going to hand build sections with coils. I thought about building it with coils, and I thought about throwing it on the wheel, but either way you go about it, it was an extremely labor-intensive project. And I thought about maybe this is something I'll do after I graduate. There's no way that I can make this project happen in my final year. It would just be, it's hundreds of pounds of clay, it's all these different sections. So I kind of put it on a shelf. But then New Bedford Research and Robotics came to the Star Store, and we had this opportunity. They worked with an artist named Richard Malkin, and I saw them printing clay. And it gave me that. I was like, and then I saw these huge robots, and I was like, maybe this is something that we could actually do. And I learned this program called Rhino, and I designed the columns in Rhino. But I thought about how you would cut it into slices and then attach, just like you saw in these other pictures, like the column, even the marble columns are assembled by a section. How would we assemble it by sections? So I brought this file to Dishant, who's the project manager that helped me with the project, and he converted it through something called the Grasshopper, which is another program, and it told the robot, or it explained to the robot how to print in 3D. So here we are. This is one of our first sections. So you can see here there's a clay extruder. So we would load the clay extruder, and we could only create a section with one extrusion. You couldn't keep going past an extrusion. It had to be limited to one full tube of clay. And just to show you, so that's like we would. This is what it would look like when the robot printed it, and then I wanted to add the mark of time, and so I would manufacture like a finish, and then finally glaze it with a patina to alter the surface. This is what it would look like. The clay would, as it was loading programs, at least, I would just come back in so that we were able to get to the point where we were printing 3 sections a day, and altogether it took us 24 sections to print. So yeah, that's what the project looks like in its final form. I would love to print more sections. I'd love to, I showed you earlier, this whole kind of field. One day I'd love to keep producing these sections and create an installation to kind of recreate that sort of wonder that you feel in these ancient sites. But for now, this was like an exciting, it's interesting now. We know how long, what does a production day look like? How much can we get done? I learned a lot about all the technical aspects of printing. And it's just a really wonderful experience.